You know, for years on my show, I've sat across from people from all walks of life. Celebrities, world leaders, everyday folks. And one issue that continues to weigh heavily on my heart is poverty. It's a global epidemic, affecting billions of people, both in developing nations and right here in our own backyard. But the truth is, it's so much more complicated than that. Today, we're going to dive deep into these issues, shine a light on the real solutions, and hopefully inspire action. Because everybody deserves a chance to live a life of dignity and opportunity. Corruption isn't just an abstract concept. It impacts real lives. Imagine a parent unable to afford medicine for a sick child. This is the reality for millions. Corrupt leaders prioritize personal gain, but we can demand accountability and transparency. Now let's talk about the role of government. We all know that governments have a huge impact on our lives, but nowhere is this more evident than in their economic policies. When governments make sound economic decisions, they create an environment where businesses can thrive, jobs can be created, and people can lift themselves out of poverty. But when governments mismanage their economies, when they implement policies that benefit the few at the expense of the many, the results can be devastating. Think about hyperinflation, where the cost of basic goods skyrockets, wiping out people's savings and pushing them deeper into poverty. Think about economic recessions, where businesses shut down, jobs are lost, and families struggle to put food on the table. These aren't just abstract economic concepts, my friends. These are real-life consequences that have a ripple effect throughout society, pushing millions further into poverty. You know, throughout history, we've seen time and again that freedom and economic prosperity go hand in hand. When people are free to express themselves, to innovate, to participate in the political process, economies flourish. But under autocratic regimes and military rule, this freedom is suppressed, and the consequences for economic development, especially for the poor, are dire. Imagine living in a country where you have no say in how you're governed, where speaking out against injustice could land you in jail, where fear and oppression are the norm. This is the reality for millions living under authoritarian rule. These regimes often prioritize their grip on power over the needs of their people. And guess who suffers the most? You got it, the poor and marginalized? Chapter 4. Knowledge is power, breaking the chains of illiteracy and lack of education. Education is my life's passion. It's the key to opportunity and a better future. But for millions, especially in poverty, quality education is a distant dream. Illiteracy and lack of education perpetuate poverty and hinder progress. Investing in education is not just right, it's smart. Giving governments of the resources they need to fund essential services for the poor and middle class. Chapter 6. Scars of the Past. How colonial history and debt traps perpetuate poverty. You know, we often talk about poverty as a present-day problem, but the truth is, its roots run deep, often stretching back centuries to the era of colonialism. Many countries in the global south are still grappling with the legacy of colonial exploitation, their economies weakened, their resources depleted, their people left behind. Imagine a country stripped of its natural resources, its people forced into labor, its systems of governance dismantled and replaced with ones designed to benefit the colonizers. This is the reality that many nations faced, and the scars of this exploitation run deep. Even after gaining independence, many of these countries found themselves trapped in a cycle of debt, forced to take on massive loans from international institutions and wealthy nations just to stay afloat. These loans, often with crippling interest rates and conditions, further weakened their economies, making it nearly impossible to invest in education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Chapter 7: Hidden Poverty. The struggle for economic justice in developed nations. Poverty isn't just a problem in developing countries. Even in wealthy nations, millions struggle to make ends meet. This hidden poverty includes working poor, families struggling to pay bills, and children going hungry. GDP and economic growth figures don't tell the whole story. Think about the single mother working 2 jobs, still unable to afford childcare, or the senior citizen choosing between medicine and groceries. These are the faces of hidden poverty, and their stories deserve to be heard. Outro: a call to action, breaking the chains of poverty together. You know, after exploring the complexities of poverty, it's clear that there's no easy fix. It's not just about individual effort. It's about creating a more just and equitable world where everyone has the opportunity to succeed. We've seen how corruption steals resources, how bad governance cripples economies, how illiteracy limits potential, and how exploitation keeps people trapped in poverty. But we've also seen the power of hope, the resilience of the human spirit, and the potential for change when we work together. We need to demand better from our leaders, hold corporations accountable, and support organizations working to empower the poor and marginalized. If you found this video insightful, please subscribe to Akin's YouTube channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell for more content and encouragement. Together, we can break the chains of poverty and build a brighter future for all. Thank you for watching.